It was the kind of job offer that dreams are made of, a chance to work as a model in the vibrant, tropical paradise of Thailand. For Vera Kraft Sova, it was everything she had ever wanted, a chance to finally make her mark, to turn her passion into a profession. On September 12, 2025, she boarded a flight, her heart filled with excitement, thrilled to be fulfilling one of her biggest dreams. Less than 1 month later, her body would be found in a different country. It was found without her organs. This is the story of that dream and how it turned into an unthinkable nightmare. It's a story that serves as a chilling modern-day warning. When something seems too good to be true, it might just be a deadly trap. To understand the horror of what happened, you first have to understand the light that was extinguished. Vera Kraft Sova was born on the very last day of 1998 in Minsk. This is a sprawling city of nearly 2 million people, the capital of Belarus, a country nestled in Eastern Europe. She was the only child of Sergei and Olga, described by everyone who knew them as a humble, dedicated family. And Vera was special. From the time she was a little girl, she wasn't just interested in the arts, she lived it. Painting, music, dance. It was her language. Seeing this spark in their only daughter, Olga and Sergei enrolled her in a local music school. They wanted her talent to flourish. And it did. At this school, Vera learned to dance, to sing, and to play several instruments, mostly wind instruments. Even at that young age, she had a talent that turned heads. While other kids were playing in the streets, Vera was in class, practicing notes, breathing in music, and dreaming of a stage. Any stage. She was a dreamer, but she was also a worker. As a teenager, she balanced her demanding schoolwork with a part-time job at a restaurant, and she gave a part of every paycheck to her mother just to help with the household expenses. After finishing high school, Vera made a decision that would define her path. She chose not to go to university. Instead, she chose to travel. Vera wanted to see the world, to live new experiences, and to make a living on her own terms. And so, still just a teenager, she began exploring Asia. In 2018, at only 19 years old, Vera decided to leave Belarus and move to China. From there, she visited other Asian countries like Singapore and Vietnam. Before she left back in 2017, Vera had participated in a local talent show in Minsk. It was a show inspired by the famous international program, The Voice. This performance, which took place in a city nightclub, would later cause a lot of confusion. Some media outlets incorrectly reported that Vera had competed in the official The Voice franchise, which doesn't even exist in Belarus. There's a photo of her circulating online, and in the background you can see the show's logo. But this was just a backdrop, something the local organizers had created for contestants to take pictures with. To be clear, Vera Kraft Sova never participated in the official The Voice. While she was in China and the other countries she visited, Vera worked in whatever field she could, but it was her musical talent that gave her a foothold. Vera used to sing in small, smoky night bars in the Asian cities she visited. It's said that people loved to hear her sing, and when the venues permitted, she received good tips. She also did some modeling work. Nothing major, but it earned her some money. And even thousands of kilometers from home, she never lost touch. She spoke to her parents every single day. They were her anchors, supporting her unconditionally. That support helped Vera stay determined in her two big dreams, becoming a famous singer and seeing the world. But by September of 2025, that dream was starting to feel distant. Now 26 years old, Vera was facing financial problems. The hustle was wearing thin. The small gigs weren't adding up. She needed a break. She was looking for one big opportunity to get her out of this situation and finally boost her career. And that's when it appeared. It came through social media, possibly on Telegram, a platform now known to be a hunting ground for criminal recruiters. The offer was perfect, too perfect. A part-time modeling job in Bangkok, the capital of Thailand. The promised salary was almost unbelievable, between $3,000 and $5,000 a month. Thailand. Known for its tropical beaches, its ancient temples, and a powerful fashion and tourism industry, it seemed like the perfect destination for a young, ambitious woman like Vera. The offer detailed photo sessions and modeling contracts, things that aligned perfectly with her goals. Confident and overwhelmingly excited, Vera posted photos on social media, bubbling with anticipation for this new chapter. For her, this was it. This was the chance to turn all those years of dreaming into a reality. Her family said she was ecstatic, barely able to wait, counting the minutes until she could go. The problem was, none of it was real. Vera, of course, had no idea. She was, in that moment, walking joyfully into a predator's snare. On September 12, 2025, Vera boarded that flight to Bangkok. Thai immigration records show her passing through the automated passport control at Suvarnabhumi International Airport. She was alone. Surveillance footage showed no signs of distress, no coercion. She was just a young woman, excited to start a new job. She messaged her family when she arrived. The first few days, the contact was normal. And then, on October 4th, the messages stopped. The daily calls to her mother and father, just silence. For a parent, it's the beginning of an agony you can't even put into words. Olga, her mother, waited. She prayed. By October 9th, the worry had turned into pure ice-cold panic. She reported Vera missing. She contacted the Belarusian embassy in Vietnam, which also covers Myanmar, as well as the consulates in Bangkok and Yangon. The embassy sent inquiries. The authorities in Myanmar and Thailand began to trace Vera's steps. The Belarusian ambassador, Vladimir Borovikov, confirmed that Vera had left Bangkok. She had traveled to Myanmar on September 20th, but he emphasized that at the time there was no reliable information about where she was or what her legal situation was. Thai authorities would later state that there was no evidence she was kidnapped on Thai soil. But the truth is a timeline from a horror movie. A few days after arriving in Thailand, Vera went to meet her new employer, the modeling recruiter. It was at that exact moment the trap sprang shut. She wasn't met with a contract, she was met with force. They took everything from her, her passport, her phone, her belongings, her identity. She was then forcibly taken across the border, smuggled into Myanmar, a country ravaged by civil war and notoriously known as a black hole for human trafficking and exploitation. What happened next is difficult to even say. The kidnappers, they forced Vera into sexual relations. They exploited her in every conceivable way. And when they were done, her ordeal was far from over. She was then forced to work. She was taken to a clandestine call center. Now, when you hear call center, you might picture an office building. You need to erase that image from your mind. These are not offices. They are fortresses. They are prisons. These compounds are run by Chinese gangs with the full support of local militias. They're surrounded by tall walls topped with barbed wire and crawling with armed guards. All of it is designed to prevent any captive from escaping. Inside, these places are deceptive. They have restaurants, shops, even spas. They're designed to look like a campus, but they are a gilded cage. According to a report from the UN Human Rights Commission in February 2025, it is estimated that up to 120,000 people from 21 different countries are being held in this kind of slavery in Myanmar right now. They are exploited for cyber fraud, forced into prostitution, and in the most extreme cases, used for organ trafficking. Vera was forced to create fake profiles on dating sites using her own appearance, her own photos. She was forced to attract wealthy men in schemes known as romance scams. Her job was to build a fake emotional relationship, gain their trust, and then extort money for fraudulent investments, for fictitious causes, for urgent, non-existent loans. People in these call centers are forced to work exhausting shifts, sometimes up to 16 hours a day. They are under constant surveillance. They have no access to their personal belongings, no contact with the outside world. And if you don't meet your quota, if you fail to scam enough money, the punishment is severe: physical assault, threats of forced prostitution, or death. Just recently, on October 23rd, there was a sliver of hope in this dark world. Nearly 700 people managed to escape from one of these compounds. The escape happened right after a military operation inside the complex. Following the incident, Thai forces provided emergency assistance to the terrified escapees. A group of men and women of all different nationalities. But for Vera, there would be no escape. Vera, the girl who loved music, the girl who called her mom every day. She wasn't a good scammer. After weeks of generating no profit for her captors, they deemed her useless. But they weren't done with her. She still had value. She was sold to another criminal group, a group that operates one of the most monstrous trades on earth, the organ trafficking network. What they did to her is the very definition of inhuman. They harvested her. Most of her organs were removed to be sold on the black market. Her body, what was left of it, was then discarded in a forested area, hollowed out. It was later discovered by local residents who immediately alerted the authorities. And just when you think this story cannot get any more cruel, it does. While Vera's family was still frantically contacting embassies, still praying, still clinging to a desperate hope that she was just lost, their phone rang. It was the criminals. They were demanding $500,000, $500,000 in exchange for the return of her body. The family was shattered. Until that moment, they had no idea what had happened. They didn't have that kind of money. They refused to pay, but they pleaded. Just please, return her body. Then another anonymous message. This one claimed Vera had been sold for her organs and that her body had already been cremated. The official story is even more confusing. A document from Myanmar dated October 16, 2025 was sent to the family. It claims that Vera died of a heart attack in the village of Hlu, and that she was cremated that very same day in the village of Ingyen. This is almost certainly a lie. A cover-up crafted to hide a criminal act and avoid an international incident, especially given that the government of Myanmar is in the middle of a brutal civil war. To make matters worse, the Belarusian ambassador Vladimir Borovikov has publicly criticized the media, claiming much of the information is false and based on rumors. He even suggested there may still be a possibility that Vera is alive. But how? How can she be alive when Myanmar authorities themselves issued a document saying she was dead and cremated? In the end, Vera Kraft Sova's family is left in a state of total unbearable anguish. They are in the dark. They don't know what actually happened to their daughter. They don't know where her ashes are. If she was even cremated. They just want something, anything, symbolic of their daughter to bring back to Belarus. The lack of clarity, with authorities providing conflicting information, makes any real investigation in these militia-controlled regions practically impossible. The case of Vera Kraft Sova is a dark, tangled web of lies, exploitation, and unimaginable cruelty. It's a story that feels impossible, but it is terrifyingly and tragically real. And that's where we'll leave the story for today. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here and seeing it through. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I read every one I can. To everyone who has supported our work, I can't thank you enough. You are the engine that allows me to keep pursuing these important stories for this amazing community. There's more to come. Until then, take care.